Hey everyone, this is Sarah here. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this recording. I made a super quick, just little Prezi to help me walk through the various organizations that we looked through for this first module. And I think professional organizations can absolutely aid us in career development, networking, and really pushing forward into our careers. So this has been a pretty cool assignment. I enjoyed the time I did have being able to walk through some of these different professional organizations. It's been pretty cool. All right, sorry. Okay, so first and foremost, I wanted to start with SHRM, I think that's how you say it, the Society for Human Resource Management. And just highlighting really quick, this is of course all off the resources online that I found. Their purpose is to elevate the HR profession. I think that's a lot more towards human resource management, although what I found on their website and some of the resources, they do invest a lot in, I guess, what we would call learning and development and like general development for professionals. So their mission is to empower people in workplaces by advancing HR practices and maximizing human potential. And their vision is to build a world of work that works for all. So they're kind of like a general catch-all type organization. They offer a lot of different things. Like you can easily get lost in the SHRM website, but some of the things that I found, like large umbrella terms, compliance and legal resources. They share HR news. Like they even have a podcast. I actually listen to the SHRM podcast. There's lots of networking opportunities, career resources, professional development through all kinds of workshops, conferences, etc. And you can actually get real-time assistance. So I think one thing that really stuck out with SHRM was it seemed to be if you were an HR professional in like a small business or a small organization, you could essentially use SHRM as like a constant consultant type role so that you can be ensuring that like you're doing the right thing and that you're in compliance. So just a few more like distinguishing factors with SHRM. They have two certifications, one certified professional and one senior certified professional. And there, of course, are varying qualifications, mainly just based on your experience in HR, in an HR role, and then you can study for and take a certification exam. And then another really distinguishing factor I found was that SHRM invests or seems to invest a lot in advocacy for workforce and workplace policy, even at the national level. And so there were some resources on there about how you could get involved more on the political landscape of like workforce laws and things like that. So that's SHRM. Now, the next organization is, of course, the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology. I'd actually heard of this field before doing this assignment, and IO psychology is pretty cool. So, of course, the organization is dedicated to advancing the field of IO psychology. I know that this field initially kind of rooted in like the U.S. military, and so I thought that was interesting. And they have kind of some more general opportunities as well. I thought their website was a little less aesthetically pleasing. That was just me in terms of navigation and things like that. But they have an annual conference, and a lot of opportunities to gain credits, continuing education, things like that. And one thing that I saw or I thought was kind of distinguishing was that the way that you become a member of this organization, there are like different levels or classifications. And instead of those classifications like members, associates, student affiliates being based on your experience, it was actually based on your level of education attainment. So, I just thought that was interesting because, in some, like my very initial off the bat reaction was like, wow, that's kind of elitist. Like you can't be a member or even like, be a member to understand what's going on in this organization unless you have a specific degree. But I could totally understand that if it's like highly steeped in networking and everyone there is a certain level of professional within this, IO psych field. It could be much more channeled and bottlenecked in a positive way in that case. The next organization was the Academy of Human Resource Development. Super cool. So again, I found a mission statement and some vision on their website. So of course this mission is kind of broad and all-encompassing, but it focuses a lot of study of theories and practices, really focusing on research and disseminating research. And then their vision was leading human resource development through research. Yeah, so yeah, that kind of makes sense. And here I just highlighted that vision statement again. And some distinguishing characteristics. So what I got out of the mission statement and just the online listed organizations, I just kind of thought that seems to, the organization itself seems to really emphasize scholarship and dissemination of research. And I guess my first thought, or my thought off the bat, was that's probably because HRD is really trying to make a name for itself amongst all these other fields, especially human resource management and, IO psych and organizational development, human development. What we read and what we talked about a lot last class in 8300 was just how, as a field, human resource development is still really trying to define itself and make a name for itself. So I kind of thought that's why the organization, the professional organization, was really steeped in dissemination of research, was, for the benefit of HRD as a field. So the next organization was the Society for Organizational Learning, and what I found most interesting on their website was like Peter Senge, I think that's how you say Senge, was like all over the website. He was very obviously, like, it didn't directly say, there was like this huge biographical section for Peter Senge, and they have two main events, the Foundations for Leadership and then the Executive Champions Workshop, and both of those are co-facilitated by Peter Senge himself. So what I guess understood from all the Peter-focused information was this is his organization, or at least very much so steeped and based in his work regarding organizational development and a learning organization. So I kind of felt like, or this felt to me like it was a consulting group, almost like an external consulting group. They were hyper-focused in their values on like creating capacity, so teaching you how to create a learning organization. So I thought that was pretty distinguishing for SOL. And then next we have the Association for Talent Development, ATD. Their vision mission, I love quick little vision mission statements. I think they're super powerful, so I loved these. Vision was to create a world that works better, and mission to empower professionals to develop talent in the workplace in order to then create a world that works better. They seem kind of like this catch-all generalist place so there's, membership to ATD, there's events, like a lot of these organizations have conferences. They too offer certifications. They had quite a list of certifications. I didn't really grapple with all of them, but there was like a whole drop-down menu. And then generating content to support professionals developing talent. One thing I found that was super cool, they had this talent development capability model, and you could go in and just like pinpoint and talk through and help yourself flesh out all these areas of talent development in a really cool like graphic model that you could work through online. So there seemed to be a lot of resources just immediately available with ATD. And then finally, we have the International Society for Performance Improvement. Oh, I should have made the this bigger, so sorry. But their vision statement is performance improvement practices are recognized globally as an essential part of every organization's competitive strategy. That's actually a really good vision statement, what the vision actually is. And then their mission is pretty long, but the organization and its members use evidence-based performance improvement research and practices to affect sustainable, measurable results and add value to stakeholders in the private, public, and social sectors. Whew. So they're really kind of generalized on and focused in on performance improvement. And so they have some standards that guide everything that they're doing. I liked that. I think there are 6 very explicit set standards, and then they have certifications, and all that is really focused in on performance improvement. So with that being said, I think all of these organizations are really fantastic and cool in their own right. I think all of them are focused in on some facet or some niche area of either human behavior in the workplace or just adult development and learning in the workplace. So it's kind of cool to see how all these different fields are slightly different areas of study that have grown into these professional organizations. They are pretty similar. Like, they're addressing the same things, maybe from different perspectives, whether that be research versus practice only, or certifications and events and things like that. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you've made it this far into the recording, I appreciate your time. And this tool has been interesting. I couldn't get it to work for the longest time. I almost gave up and finally got it to work. So I hope this recording works and sticks. All right, thanks.